Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and in just a moment we're going to be looking at some 25NL snap hands that I played over the last week or so. Um, at the start of the video, I just want to say that I don't think we should be playing these games. I think they're really quite bad. If you watch through to the end, there's going to be a potential. I'm putting a bounty on my head, but I'm not going to say what it is. Obviously, you can just skip to the end, but I'd rather people just watch through the video. Left some comments on some hands that I played, etc. I'd prefer to get more comments on my videos, and we don't have like scores of viewers, but we do have like a little small community of people who watch all my videos, and I just love reading the comments. So please leave some more comments. And if you watch through to the end, you might see more hands, you might leave more comments. Who knows? But there's going to be something at the end that some of you might want to hear. I was watching Easty stream yesterday, streaming his 10L challenge. A lot of you who watch my channel will definitely watch him. He was really, really disillusioned. He was playing in a pool where, frankly, I was familiar with quite a lot of the players. It looked awful. It looked like a really bad pool. And he was just like raised, making no hand, having to check fold a lot, or just raise, take it down, etc. And I totally got the frustration he was showing. It's a dreadful pool. He really like lost the plot towards the end and started calling people nitpigs amongst other things. And as amusing as it is, and like the main reason I watched the lad is because you know when he rages and it's real. I don't think it's like a skit. I don't think it's a shtick. I think it's actually like I'm fucking furious, which I like to see. I don't like seeing. Like watching poker streams like reality TV, and like people used to watch Big Brother or whatever for the carnage, for the arguments, for the fucking emotion. I don't want to watch someone who's just super chilled all day, like, oh yeah, that's well, whatever, cool. I want to watch people who are really fucking going through the emotions. I don't really like seeing people when they're happy. I prefer seeing them when they're raging. That's why I watch. It's why a lot of us watch. It's certainly why Nick gets a lot of traffic on his channel. I imagine because people just want to see him fucking raging, and he was on fine form yesterday. But at the same time, I felt a little bit of empathy for him because um, I understand how that feels. I have a love-hate relationship with speed poker. It's get easy voluming on it, but it's just really not that fucking great. If we just look at my graphs for like the last few months, which are here, you can see I've done really well. I've put loads and loads of volume in, 245 hours. But the reason I'm making this video is because I've been feeling burned out for like the last 4 or 5 days. I haven't played very much at all. I've been kind of forcing it. I've been logging in. I've not been like enjoying playing. Little things that don't normally bother me have triggered me, and yeah, it's just been a bit like there. Like if you look at like my main game, which is this one, 124 hours, where we're like winning comfortably at 13 bigs, even at 11 bigs, all in adjusted. But I've put over 100 hours in these speed poker pools where yeah, I've done okay. I've won 1,000, but my like win rates are nowhere near as good. This is looks good. I think this is 25 and on snap, and we've beaten it for 7.4 bigs. That's not no way my true win rate in there. Even though my all in EV is like up at 8, there's no way that's my true win rate. That is definitely like heat. I think my true win rate's probably down at somewhere between 2.5 and 4 probably. This is party poker. Um, and you can see that. Look, I've won 500. I should be up 64. That game is fucking diabolical. And my all in EV 0.88. I think that's reasonable. I think I'm probably just about breaking even in that pool. Maybe winning slightly, then winning with rate back. But I've put 106 hours into those games, and yeah, good for me. I've ran well. Happy days. But on another day, on another month, on another sample, this could have been 106 hours, and this could have been both these win rates could have been true, like one big blind 100, and then like this graph doesn't look like this. This graph just tails off and does all kinds of shit. So they're really bad games. And I've done anti-speed poker videos before, and then I've gone back playing, and that makes me somewhat of a hypocrite. But I also get it because they're addictive. They're moreish. The sites want you playing them because they want you in games where where the rake crushes players' win rates. They don't want to create games for you where they rake at 8 bigs 100 and you win at 12 bigs 100. They don't want that. They want games where they're raking at 10 bigs 100 and you're raking at somewhere between. You're winning at somewhere between losing and 2 bigs 100. Then they give you a little bit of rate back, and then you're grateful for it because your rate back puts you up to 4 bigs 100 if you're playing 1,000 hands an hour. At 25 vanilla, that's $10 an hour, and they want you doing that, basically fucking grinding and grinding and grinding while they're making all the money, and you're basically making slave wages. It's not a good environment, but I've said it so many times, and then I've ended up going back to it. You can see here, this is like there's a confession of what a hypocrite I am, really. I've played 106 hours since August the 1st of speed poker, and yeah, I've been lucky. I've been winning at whatever that is, like $10 now, plus a little bit of rate back. But it could have been so different. I've wasted my time. And I was watching Easter yesterday, like, you know what? You could see how pissed off he was. And I was like, fucking Reg, you need to stay away from those games, because that's how I've got, like, I've put like 245 hours in since the start of August. But in the last week, I've maybe only put 25 hours in. My volume's like really dropped off. My hours have dropped off because I've just burned out, and burning out when it comes to fucking poker. Fucking nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You know, people who burn out are fucking nurses, doctors, policemen, people working 40, 50-hour weeks in fucking dead-end jobs who don't want to do it, but they've got to do it. So I'm aware that I'm not looking for sympathy with this, because burning out as a poker player, micro-stakes poker player, hobbyist, fuck off, Reg. Grow up. Stop fucking whining. And it's not a whine, but it has made me like not want to play the game as much. So I am going to try very hard for like at least like the rest of this month and all of next month, ideally for the rest of the year, to not play another single speed poker hand. And I'm going to put a bounty on my head for anyone who catches me playing speed poker. But we're going to wait to the end of the video so I can say what that bounty is, because I want you to watch some of these hands that we're about to get into. Sorry, Ryan, I know you'll be watching this. It's a 7-minute without seeing any fucking action. Deal with it, kid. Deal with it. We'll talk about Ryan. He's promised me he'll make a video with me tomorrow reviewing some hands. Sometimes, you know, Ryan can say he's going to do something, then it doesn't happen. He might end up watching fucking EastEnders and putting a flat pack fucking wardrobe together. Who knows? But for the time being, Ryan said he's going to make a video with me tomorrow. That'll be coming out probably on Friday. So yeah, looking forward to that. I like Ryan. I think I called Ryan my e-friend or my internet friend a few days ago. He corrected me and said acquaintance, but I still think he's a friend. I treat him as a friend anyway. A very high maintenance, sulky cunt of a friend, but a friend nevertheless. Anyway, let's get into some of these hands. We're going to whiz through them because there's quite a lot of them. So, Ace King, we get a very recreational player, 5x in the button. We do that. He calls. We flop top pair. We just go all in because, you know, we've got an SPR of 1.5 and yeah, we just got an SPR 1.5. We've got top pair, top kicker in a 3-bet pot. It's either going to be doing a bit of checking. Don't want to check this board, or we're going to be betting, and I think all ins a reasonable size. Willen calls, and here Queen Jack. So yeah, whatever. Hand didn't really merit a review, but we reviewed it anyway. 10-9 off suit. Open button. Called by this. And these are the types of players that get on everyone's nerves. Like 22-14-5. Another one here. This Den Shark guy. What a fucking mess he is. Well, absolute disgrace. And these are the sort of players that like Easty rants at, and I fucking get it. I really do get it. They're in the pool and they're, what are you fucking doing, mate? This guy's been around for ages. He used to play 50-L back in the day, like 10 years ago, and he had like reasonable stats. And now he's like 25-L, 14-11. Fuck off, son. Yeah, this is why these games are just so bad. I mean, this table, I would never be at it. If this was a reg table, I'd be fucking gone. Nay. Like, maybe half decent reg. Who knows? But yeah, fuck them. It shouldn't be at the table. This is what makes speed poker so bad. Because maybe you are like 3 tabling snap on Triple Eight. Maybe you are getting 700 hands an hour. And maybe out of those 700 hands, only 50 of them are in environments where you're actually beating the rake. Because like, at this table, no one's beating the rake really. There's no one really putting enough money in pre-flop, creating like dead money for other people to fight over. Um, I, if anyone is beating the rake at this table, it's for a very small amount. This table shouldn't happen, but it does. Anyways, flop second pair. This guy just decides to fucking randomly donk. Recall. Turn. He donks half pot again. Recall. River ace. He checks. Yeah, again, I don't know why this one's for review. It's bog standard. Now we check back. I don't know why I've marked this one for review. It's because I turned it into a bluff. We should just check back here, I think. There's just no reason to do this. We just beat some things. Yeah, this is me just spewing. Not really sure what I'm doing here. Maybe do we beat many things? Do we need to turn this into a bluff? That's why I've marked the hand. I've marked the hand because I'm wondering, do I need to turn this into a bluff or not? I don't know. Answer in the comments. Do I need to turn this hand into a bluff? Is this reasonable to turn this hand into a bluff? Would you just check this back? Would you think you don't win at showdown very often, so therefore you need to find some bluffs? And would you therefore then turn a pair into a bluff? Would you now turn this 10 into a bluff to make a queen 4? Which I guess is what I'm trying to do here. I'm guessing this. I'm putting this guy on hands like queen X, maybe slightly better 10x, and then he just checks the river, and he's probably checking, hoping to call. So like, well, okay, well, if you want to check and hope to call, let's make it difficult for you to call. This will have been my logic here. This could be massively punting. Do we have enough showdown value against 22/14 who's donking to just check back this river, or should we be turning our 10 into a bluff? Because that's what I did. I turned it into a bluff. This isn't a value bet, and villain folded. So yeah, that's why that hand's in there. Would you have just checked back there? Next hand. 29-14 limps the button. Like, these are the fish in these games. I mean, I've got a 29-14 green tagged. This is just like a, I don't know what he is. But he's not super loose. Like another one, 27-19, this old den. Anyone who plays 25 don't be familiar with this guy. He's fucking dog shit. He's like a Ukrainian player. He's got like flats in all kinds of weird positions. I mean, look at the fucking guy's stats. He's just like, got call 2-bet, 8%, 11%, 16%. He's just like, what are you fucking doing, mate? Small blind, he's just like got many flats. It's like, fuck off, mate. But he's a fish. In reg tables, he'd be definitely like a bit looser and definitely a fish. In these games, he's like, whatever. He's probably not making money, probably not losing much money. But yeah, when these guys are your fish, you're in a bad game. Yeah, so he calls. Flop ourselves on nut flush draw. We bet small. He min raises. Okay. I guess we can 3-bet, or we can call here with all the equity we've got. See what I did this time. I just called. Turn a flush. I decide to lead because I think this player's just going to check back a lot. If he's like flop to set or flop 2 pair, he's just going to check back a lot. If he's got a flush, like if he's flopped a flush with, I don't know, 8, 9, like I just straight flush now. But you know what I mean. If he's got some kind of like 6-5 of diamonds, 8-6 of diamonds, whatever, you know, like, if he's got medium flushes, he's just going to check back too. If he's got a big flush when I lead, he is going to call or raise. We do miss a check raise against like the king of diamonds specifically. If he's got a hand like king jack off with a king of diamonds, but I think overall I like leading here. He raises again. I just go for the call, and I guess I'm going to check raise river, or try to check. He goes all in. Yeah, whatever. How interesting. And the guy was just randomly doing that, which is possibly one of the most random hands you'll see. Yeah, but these are your fish, you know. But in a reg table game, when he wasn't playing speed poker and he couldn't just fold and get his next hand, maybe he'd be playing 45-14. And maybe he'd be in these pots more often out of boredom, and maybe he'd be doing this more often and losing his money quicker. I'm going to skip that hand and save it till last because it's a doozy, an absolute doozy of a hand, and I don't want it just plopping in the middle of the video. Queen 10, raise, 3-bet by in my opinion, reasonable regular, one of the better regs in the game. Call. Flop top pair. He bets pretty big, 2/3 pot, thinks reasonable. We have to call, of course. Turn 7. He now starts checking. I think we can go either way here. I think we can sometimes check back, sometimes just bet small. We check back. River king. He now bets. I think we should probably. What do I think? I'm not looking at the top left-hand corner because I don't really want to know if we won or lost this hand. And we're going to try and replay it again as if like it's a fresh hand to me. So I'd be in here looking at this, and this stat here is really important. This is one at showdown after betting the river, and this is only 55%. This is a pretty low number. This shows this player like has bluffs. It shows he has like thinner value bets, etc. I think this number's enough for me to be like, right, okay. We just need to call this player. Lots of players I wouldn't call here. I think when someone's got a number as low as 55, yeah, we're going to get bins sometimes. Sometimes he's just going to have a good hand. But I think getting such a good price, we need like 25% equity to call. He's only won 55% of the time he's bet on the river. This is different. It's a 3-bet pot. I suspect this number, if we just filtered for 3-bet pots alone, would be higher. But still, nevertheless, I think given the information we've got, we just have to call here and just expect to lose a lot, but whatever. So we do call. And he had a bluff. He turned a 7 into a bluff, which I think is... I don't know what I think, so we won't say anything. I'm not here to critique other players, really, apart from the cunts. I'm not here to critique players who I think are good. If someone's just an absolute nick cunt, then yeah, I'll happily just slag them off. But I think Whiskey Biz is probably a decent player, and he doesn't need someone like me critiquing his play on a one-off hand basis. We open here, get called by another boring reg. We flop 2 pairs, we check, he bets. I'm presuming I'm going to raise, although it might be a bit thin, but I'm presuming I'm raising. No, I just call. When I say a bit thin, it's not thin as in terms of like, I think we have the best hand a lot, but like villain's continuing range versus check range, he's going to have a shit ton of equity against us. So that's why I mean it's like it would be thin to raise. Yeah, we probably have the best hand at a decent clip, but if we made this in 9 blinds, then his continuing range is going to have a decent chunk, like 30 plus % equity, and then there's going to be lots of like turns and river runouts. That's not going to be good for our hand. So maybe actually calling's better here, and just like try to like tread carefully. Turn 4 check. Villain now over bets. I think like loads of regs in these pools, when they're over betting turns, I think they are heavily weighted towards like, please fuck off. I've got a lot of equity, but please fold. For example, if this player's got 8-7 here, I think yeah, it's going to be in there sometimes, but I think there's going to be an awful lot more XX of clubs or other airy type hands. I think that's pretty reliable with a lot of regs. They're just like, oh, well, I need to have some over bets. I think river over bets are quite often very value driven. Could be wrong, but so it feels to me. I think turnover bets are very pleased. I think I've got, I want to I've got equity and I want to capitalize on my fold equity. I want to maximize my fold equity. That's what I typically feel these bets are like. I actually think I had a conversation a while back with a friend who we were discussing like, do we ever just like want to race against these turnover bets to like deny equity or just get fat value. Say I had a set of 9s here. Would I want to raise here? Because I think Billen's going to have like a hand that's got reasonable equity, like a decent flush draw, maybe a combo draw. Occasionally, maybe he's got like a worse set as well or what have you. So if we just had like the 8-7 here, could we just raise for like super clean value? And just put people in really tough spots with flush draws, probably. Because I think a lot of the time, this isn't air. This is either going to be like a strong made hand or a strong draw. There's never just air here. So if we had like a really strong made hand ourselves, like 8-7 or set of 9s, I think we could probably raise here and get called by an awful lot of villains range. Anyway, I just ended up calling here. River's pretty of a shitty card. We check. Villain gives up. And yeah, he had the like high equity bluff on the turn. He needed some showdown value. I'm not surprised to see that. Ace 8 suited. We raise. Whiskey Biz again 3-bets us. I think we can probably just fold this pre. He is. No, he's 3-betting 19% from the small blind. We're not folding this, are we? I think against population, we can just fold this against this player with the stats we've got on him. We can't. I call. He bets the same as he bet last time when he had the 8-7, which was an air C bet. I mean, we have some backdoor stuff here, and we know that he's capable of having some pretty light C bets in this size. It's dicey, but it's really dicey actually. But I understand why I called, and I know I'm going to call because otherwise this hand wouldn't be in here. Turn 4. He checks, which is the game what he did last time with the 8-7, if you remember. He c-bet big flop with air, check turn. So maybe we could start just stabbing, try to like just fold out with some worse hands, almost certainly, but also maybe some slightly better hands. We do stab. He goes all in, and we just have to throw our hand away. And well played, sir. King Jack versus another type of player that Easy was ranting about, these 20/10 types. Again, if we look around this table, what a fucking shambles. And my stats are no better, by the way. I'm not like, look at me, I'm a fucking lag superstar and all these guys are fucking nits. My stats are no better. My stats are like these players here. So I'm no better. I'm part of the problem. But I want to be able to play like this in games where there's lots of whoppers and lots of whales and lots of recreational players. Yes, these games are just bad. So you got like complete waste of time. Nit, maybe slightly better than Nit, and definitely better than Nit, but still pretty tight. It's bad table, another bad table. We 3-bet here to try and isolate this guy who's basically only opening 10%, so maybe it's a shit 3-bet to begin with. Do we really want to 3-bet these fucking super tight fish? Probably not, but we've done it. He calls. Flop pretty well. He donks. Pretty big. Probably just call. Maybe occasionally raise. Call. Turn ace. He bets again, half pot. So now he's saying on the flop, he's saying, but he can have quite a few things. Like flush draws, maybe. Queen X. 9x. If he's a bad player, he might just be like betting pretty merged, pretty depolarized range. On the turn, he's now saying he's not saying he's got a queen anymore. He's saying I've got at least a 9. It's whether we choose to believe him or not, I guess. I called. We revert the straight. He bets. We should go all in. Oh, Reg. Oh, Reg. Go all in, son. Don't know. Well, I've called there because the board's paired. But if the guy's got a 9, he's just not folding. He just isn't folding a 9. And it's not the easiest board to have full houses on when you donk the flop. And guess 9-10. Maybe his hand has improved, I don't know. But Reg, just fucking raise, you moron. Then he had Queen Ace. Whether we would have felt it that hand or not, who knows? But we didn't give ourselves a chance to. Next hand, 2 queens. Limp from this guy who's a scumbag. Excuse me. Yeah, he tries to angle shoot. He's just a scumbag basically. Fuck him, absolutely fuck him. Eastern European scumbag. We ISO, and the limper calls. This guy folds. We check this flop. He checks back. I guess I'm thinking about going for a check raise there. Maybe just a check call. We check again. He now bets. We're in a rough spot. Probably think about folding, but this guy is pretty aggressive down the streets over a small sample. We call. River's a 7. Relatively good card. You know, if he's got a hand like 10-9. Well, yeah, it's not. We're now counterfeit. He's like some of his 2 pairs. He doesn't have 6-9, but if he doesn't have 10-6, shut up, Reg. Check. He bets again. He's polarized as fuck here. He's bet the turn, saying I've got a straight. He can still definitely have straights here and bet for this size. So he is repping a straight. I should probably just fold this hand. But again, this guy is ridiculously small sample, but he's like fishy. He looks aggro. I'm just not. I just know what I'm like. I don't fold these hands to these players. I just think he's limp. He's come from like a limping range pre. We haven't done anything to like weaken that range in terms of like betting to make him fold some stuff. So he's got to this river with like his entire pre-flop limping range. Now some of that doesn't always bet, of course, but yeah, I just don't think we can fold this hand to this player type. We called and he had a bluff. 9-10, we open, we get 3-bet by, oh, this guy's like, he's weird because he's like such a fucking massive nit. He's like 18-14. But then he just finds like more 3-bets than most pre. If we look at him, he's like, this is as sad as it sounds. He 3-bets versus steals 8%, which is like whatever. From the small blind, from the big blind, he 3-bets 14%, but that specifically, he's just finding more. Like blind versus blind, he's finding 20% 3-bets. Blind versus button, he's finding 14%. Just more than most in population. Way more than most in population. But he's 18-14. He's a strange cat. I don't fold to him very often because he's also quite the punter post flop sometimes. We flop ourselves a pair. He checks, we check back. He bets 1/3 pot turn. We're not loving it, but we have to call. River, he now bets again. Pretty small. I'm not sure what he's trying to rep here. Ace king. I think like king queen goes bigger. Ace king should probably go bigger. Aces, if he's like check the flop with them, yeah. I think that we don't win very often here. I think maybe this is him just seeking thin value, maybe, but I don't think we get to call either. I don't get to fold either. Oh wow, I turned the hand into a bluff. Probably because I think he's just got a hand he's not calling with. I assume I'm doing this attacking the size, thinking that if he had like a really strong hand, he wouldn't use this size. This is me again, just turning a pair into a bluff. Let's see if it works. He did fold. Don't know again. That might be absolute dog shit. But we did it and it worked. So who's a fucking genius? Raising the queens, getting a call from an unknown probable fish. 6-6-4. Bet 1/3. He calls. Turn boat. Check. Over bet. I think I like this. Like if he's a fish, he can have turns some flushes. He can have some 6x. I'm not interested in like milking pocket fives here, like bet small, pocket fives, pocket sevens, etc. I want to build a big pot against his flushes and against his 6x. He calls. River is another spade. He checks. Oh, Reg, that's greedy. That's greedy, because I think 6x just falls to this now. That's greedy, Reg. What side would I prefer to see himself go there? Does a 6 call? I mean, I think if we're like not that bothered anymore about getting called by 6x, and we're like hoping to get called now by like flushes and maybe has that pocket fours. If we're really lucky, maybe he's got a hand like 6-4 or 6-7. Yeah. Clearly here I've just like given up on like getting value from 6x because of the 4 flush, and I've just decided, well, I'm going to go all in and then hope to get called by flushes and smaller full houses. So is it greedy? No, maybe not. Maybe it isn't. Maybe we get going all in is just fine because 6x probably doesn't call. Even if we bet like 2/3 pot, maybe 6x doesn't call. And then we just miss a load of value from hands that can call. Yeah, actually, at first I thought it was greedy. Now I think I like it. I mean, he folded, but I think I like it still. Open Queen Jack, get called. Flop an open ender. C-bet small, which looks fine. Call. Turn brick. Think check or like pot, check pot, overbetish type of thing. You know, just check or big bets basically. We go with the overbet. He calls. River brings in a flush. And now I guess I peg this hand for should we bluff the river or not? Like, I don't know. We do have a heart, like a pretty decent heart. So we block flushes. Do we now get like ace X to fold? Does 10x call the turnover bet? Is this a mandatory bluff? Is it a like give up? I think we should probably bluff this again, to be honest. I think we should probably bluff this again. Yeah, I think we should bluff this. I don't. He checks back. And yeah, they say maybe he folds that, maybe he doesn't, but I think we should bluff that river. Next hand, king, king, limp, limp, ISO, call, call, check, check through, turn jack, check, check through, river queen, block, two folds, whatever, boring. Why is that one in there? Two nines, get 3-bet by this old den shithouse and like fish reg that we saw earlier. Calling. Calling. Checks back. River. Right, this guy's at 80% one river when bet. I think we probably just check fold. Wow, I'm bluffing again. I'm bluffing again. Chat, I'm bluffing again. I'm turning maids hand into bluffs. I'm doing that quite a lot in this video. I think it's something you have to do in these pools, to be honest with you. I think that just because ranges are so fucking nitty, because we're nits, because our opponents are nits, it's just hard to find natural bluffs a lot of the time, I think. I mean, when he, I guess my thought here is like, when he checks back on the flop, he can have some strong hands with his c-bet range. When he checks back, he's like, right, okay, I don't have king X anymore because I think king X just carries on betting. I don't have pocket sevens, which I think he can have pre-flop because that carries on betting. He doesn't have 6-5 because I mean, I'm not saying never 3-bets that pre, but probably not very often. And if he does, he carries on betting that. So unless he's like stabbed an ace and then check back turn, you know, he's just got a hand that's going to be folding a lot. I guess that's what I've been thinking. This could be really fucking bad because we don't have any good blockers. We don't have a fucking flush block. We don't block anything. This is just maybe nit spew. This is probably quite bad. We're beat your folds anyway, so fuck it. Get in there. We got the win. Raise from a 27-3. Small 3-bet from a 30-20. For some reason, I just call. God knows. Maybe. I don't know. Don't know. If I'm being honest, I'm probably thinking these ranges are quite tight. We've got a 27-3 opening. We've got someone with just a 6% 3-betting. Maybe I'm just thinking these ranges are tight. In fact, my thought process was almost certainly don't want to reopen, have this cunt jam because he's 27-3. Don't want to reopen and have this fucking jam because that queen's just going to be like flipping or fucked. Yeah, quite honestly, I guess I just didn't want to reopen here. So I didn't. Shoot me. Flop a set. Check, 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 check. Marvellous. Bet big turn. Call. Fold. And check with this. What a clusterfuck this hand is. Check, check. Yeah, well played, Reg. Yeah, king, queen, whatever. Yeah, I guess that was just for like my pre-flop. Cause yeah, I've almost certainly just not wanted to squeeze kings there because of the 27-3 opener and the fishy looking player on the button. Yeah, I just didn't want to reopen there, I guess. Mostly because of this guy. If it was like a reg opening, like one of these, this fucker or any of these, I think then I probably would have been much happier, like 3-betting. But when it's gone like min open and then tiny 3-bet, I guess I just presumed ranges were too tight to want to reopen. 10-7 suited. defending versus this fucker again. Leading this flop, which I think is probably reasonable. I mean, I might be misapplying something here a little bit, but under the gun versus big blind, 8-4-5. We're probably going to have some leads on this board, I guess. He calls. Turn, brick. Keep betting, I guess. Oh, we got the over bet. Reggie. I mean, I think I like this as a value bet. Whether I like it to bluff or not, I'm not sure. I think he's going to have a lot of like pretty strong hands in his range here. He's going to have some weak ones too. But if I did have the 6-7 here, if I had flopped the set, I think I'd quite like this for value, because I think he's just going to have some like aces, ace king, obviously some kings as well, king queen. He's got some flush draws, etc. Maybe some sets. So I think that's his value, and I guess if we're doing it, if I like it for value, then we have to have some bluffs with it. So whatever. Anyway, we did it. He called. River spade. Just bluff again, Reg. Just bluff again. I guess. I mean, we've come this far. We didn't bluff again though. We bottled it, and he had king jack off, and who knows whether it would have worked or not. Pocket sixes. Reg opens, we call. Reg C bets. Half pot. He's got a 63% C bet. He's C betting out of position 70% of the time. That's too high. Fuck him. Call. Turn the set. Beautiful. He checks. Some nice big bets, please, Reg. Ooh, over bet. Call. River puts a 4-liner. Check. Still bet, Reg. I'm pretty sure I'm going to check this hand, because why else would it be in there? This should just be a bet, though. Oh, I do bet. Oh, fucking hell. Do I bet? I fucking bet. And I bet big. And he folds. Okay, I guess I wanted to check if that was like a reasonable. These are all hands that I was supposed to run through GTO wizard or chat with my friends about. Haven't done either. Kings. Asshole opens. We 3-bet. He calls. Sometimes checking his flop, sometimes betting. This guy, well, it's shit sample size. We go with the bet this time. He calls. We check. He checks back. Guess we just bet river. Block. Don't know what I think about this. How does he call river? He falls to river bet 73% of the time. What a fucking mess. 73% fall to river bet. And he wins half the time when he calls. How often does he bet river and lose? 62%. So he bets river and loses 30%, 38%. Maybe this is a better check. Allow him to start doing some bluffing. Because he just folds so egregiously. Yeah, and he folds again. Ace Jack. Again, this is another guy who's just like, in a reg pool, he wouldn't be 26-15. He's a fish, but he's a tight fish. He'd be like 36-15, 40/15, whatever. Yeah, this is what speed poker does to fish. It just turns them tighter, and it's not what you want. Check, bet, call. Check, check back, which I think is reasonable on the repeat 10. River 4, check. Now we go for value. Now he raises. It's just never a bluff, is it? This should just be a fold. It's going to be 10x all day. I imagine we hear from pocket threes before now. Maybe once in a blue moon he has pocket fours that just floats a flop with backdoors. Yeah, it's just a fold. Just what bluffs does he have here? King, queen, king, jack. Did he even check those spots? Yeah, just fold, Reg. Or pay the cunt off. I mean, it's up to you, Reg. It's your money. Yeah, 10. Surprise! Speckle. 1% open. We 3-bet. Speckle calls. Ace comes. Check. We bet. Don't think we should, but maybe it's okay. He's got a 1% open, and he's called a 3-bet. But it could be queens. But then does queens just fold this flop? I don't know. I don't think this is anything like a mandatory bet against this type of player. We get min raised. We're in trouble. We call. 6 turn. He bets, and we fold. Yeah, whatever. Ace king. This guy's flying the button. Jeff C's in the mix again. Flop not a lot. Jeff C now finds the donk. No folding. 2 calls. Turn the nizzles. Jeff C now bets half pot. Just raise. I mean, flop, bet, check, call. Sorry, bet, call, call. We've got the nuts. And there's all kinds of like worse hands out there that give us all kinds of value. Just raise, reg. Happy days. Call. River. That card. And he goes all in. And we chop or lose here. Quite simply, we just chop or lose. We can't fold, but it's not a good situation. We call. Well, they say we can't fold. Maybe we can, but I doubt it. And he had the royal flush. So nice hand, Jeff. You absolute fuckwit. Open from reasonable reg, I want to say. Probably quite decent reg, actually, to be fair, for looking at his numbers. Now I think he's just he is overdoing the c-betting for certain, but probably good in this pool. Probably good to overdo the c-betting. Flop trips, check. Check raise, call. Barrel turn, call. Check jam river, reg. Reg. I mean, is there a reason for doing this? Did I look at something and see it like river float bet as if that's going to matter? Because the sample's going to be too small. I mean, I guess I've just been like, right, okay, mate. Bluff your miss flushes. But it's bad. I think we just should bet. He goes all in. We obviously not folding. And what? He turned the ace into a bluff. Or was he value betting? Who knows? Comments in the chat. Was this guy value betting? Was he bluffing? Because I don't fucking know. And is that it? Is that all the hands? Yeah, that's all the hands except this last one, which is the pièce de résistance of the sample. So we have the ace king open. 3-bet by bog standard looking like mediocre to shit reg, and again I'd say that with myself and most of us in mind. So we 4-bet. We had deep as fuck as well. Like 250 odd bigs deep. He 5-bets. So what are we doing with ace king here? Because this is just going to be aces a lot. I imagine kings at some frequency. Ace kings sometimes. Queens probably flatting. Jacks probably flatting. Yeah. Okay. There's no 6-betting from us. There's just no 6-betting here. We're just flatting our entire range, including aces and things. But we're flatting our entire, not our entire range, but we're flatting our entire continuing range, which is going to be remarkably narrow. We call. We flop a flush draw. He bets. I have no idea. None of us know. What's the standard C-bet sizing this deep in a 5-bet pot. I don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. And if you think you do, you don't. Fuck off, shut up. No, stop it. You're just talking bollocks. You don't know. I don't know either. This could be good. This could be really good. This could be fucking terrible. I haven't got a fucking clue. This could be even fucking worse. I'm just like, fuck it, run it. Maybe we get ace king off chops. Maybe we just got enough equity to run it against fucking pocket queens. Maybe he fucking gets scared and folds something that's better. Once in a blue moon, but fucking stupidly unlikely. I think we should just call though. I think just call. And like maybe some good turn bluff opportunities present themselves. If we just called here and the turns, if it's a club, brilliant. If it's a 7, if it's a 8, if it's a 10, if it's a jack, if it's a queen, there's kind of all kinds of cards that can be good for our range. If we think this guy's going to have aces here like the vast majority of the time, and we're still quite deep, maybe there's some like turn cards where he slows down and we get to either think about bluffing or we just get to check back and like realise a lot cheaper. I don't think we need to raise here. I think it's a bit of a punt. He doesn't go all in, but like 3 bets, it might even just be a click. All right, okay, well, we're pretty much fucked, but look, we need 15% equity and we've got a nut flush draw, so we're all in. He obviously calls. We break out. Do we sometimes chop this pot? That's the question. Do we ever win it? Does he ever just have fucking some random ace queen X? I mean, of course we don't. He just has fucking aces because he 5-bet pre-flop. So of course he has fucking aces. He's 5-bet pre-flop and C-bet a flop that is like full of low cards. Of course he had fucking aces, and we just fucking absolutely got cunted in a 515 big blind pot. Yeah, so that is an absolute butchering from me, I think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, pre-flop, I don't think we can do anything different. Flop, I think we can just call. And then turn, he bets, we just fold. And, like, hemorrhage red line, but save 150 bigs. Yeah, I think, like, just probably call, flop, fold, turn, probably the line. Yeah, but I didn't. I decided to fucking run it, and it went horribly wrong. And I told like Ryan, who was talking to tomorrow, I took the piss out of him a couple of weeks ago for like, running it in a spot that I thought was pretty bad to run it in. This has trumped that. This is running it in a spot that's fucking far worse to fucking run it in. So there you go, Ryan. I know you watch my videos. I know you usually get to the end. Yeah, I'm a fucking hypocrite, mate. I criticise you for running it for 100 bigs in a spot where you had like 2 overs in the straight draw, and I've just like got it in here where my overs are almost never going to be good. I just basically punted 100 and fucking 200 blinds in with just a flush draw against a range that's face up. So yeah, I'm a cunt. Anyways, that's about it. Looking forward to doing the video with Ryan tomorrow. Here's the bounty. If any of you guys, if you see me in on Triple Eight, Reggie Time in Snap games, any Snap games, or if you see me on Party Poker, it's Reggie, and you get a screenshot, I will give the first, only one, the first person who catches me in those games, I'll give them £200. So it's a £200 bounty. Now I'm fully aware that I'm leaving myself open to potentially people trying it on here by finding a screenshot in the past of me and they say, "Oh, Reg, I found you playing these games, etc." That's not going to work. I will be honest about it. I mean, I'm not going to play because I mean, if I'm putting a £200 bounty on my head, there's no way I'm going to play the fucking games. But if someone was to try it on, you're not getting paid for that. Not a fucking chance. But if I do have a moment of weakness and sign in and play, hoping not to get noticed, and I do, there will be £200 sent. Because I desperately do not want to play. I need to kick these games again. They've crept back in, like I said, you've seen on my poker tracker. I've put over 100 hours into these games since the start of August, and yeah, I've been lucky. I've made money, but it could have in another sample size, it could have been 100 hours of barely making any money, barely breaking even. So yeah, I need to go cold turkey on these games, and there's the bounty. So yeah, I was tempted to put it on till the end of the year, but I'm not willing to do that. But I might put the same bounty on next month. Or I might decide, fuck it, I want to make some content, so therefore I'm going to play them again. Because the only reason I really play them is to like create content or to like get a big sample in, so I can get quite a lot of hands to review with my peers. So yeah, that's it. The bounty is on from it's 12:02 p.m. on the 27th of September 2023. If anyone can provide a screenshot of me playing 25 and any snap game or any fast forward game on the names Reggie Time or It's Reggie between now and the 31st of October 2023, you will get £200. But don't waste your time trying it on by like, mocking up a screenshot, because it ain't going to work. You ain't getting paid. But I will be honest about it. If I do it and I do get caught, you will get the money. You won't catch me though. Right, anyways, that's me. I'm out of here. Looking forward to doing the video with Ryan tomorrow. Like I said, hope you guys have enjoyed this impromptu video, and we'll see you again on the next one. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye for now.